that James Lindsay claims to be a classical liberal, I actually don't think he's a classical liberal. A lot of these classical liberals view classical liberalism, the way they talk about it, the way they talk about realism, the way they talk about this, it's very much a religion to them. They'll say it's not a religion, but the way that they view it is very religious. But James Lindsay's not really a classical liberal. James Lindsay worships and is beholden to and is enslaved by the post-World War II consensus. If James Lindsay was an actual classical liberal, he would want to get rid of gay marriage. Gay marriage is not a classically liberal position. Classical liberalism is based around creating laws based on fundamental truths of reality. Gay marriage, I know a lot of gay people don't like to admit this, especially the gay people that are sort of consolidating around their sexuality to fight against the TQ plus people, the trans queer plus people. They don't want to admit this, but gay marriage in and of itself is very queer. What's more queer than taking the idea of marriage between a man and a woman, getting married before the eyes of God so they could procreate and continue the human race? What's more queer than taking that concept and introducing the idea that gay people, lesbians, whatever, can also get married? It's extremely queer. There's a fundamental truth to reality that men and women are designed for each other and that they're supposed to get together to further the human race. And getting married, creating a family, giving support to a child, rearing them, and then sending them off into the world to do their own thing just is objectively a true thing. And it upholds society. It creates life. What does gay marriage do besides make gay people feel like they're equal? Nothing. And let's take marriage out of the equation. Heterosexuality and homosexuality. Heterosexuality is, I don't even like calling it heterosexuality because it's just the truth. Men and women being designed for each other to further the human race. It's just the truth. But then taking that, queering it, introducing the idea of homosexuality, that there is another sexuality besides a man and a woman being together, positing that there is some sort of like positive essence to homosexuality as opposed to just people that have urges to sleep with the same member, with the same member of their sex. Like, introducing that concept queers sexuality and puts, like, homosexuality only exists in contrast with heterosexuality. It's completely negative identity marker. Personally, I don't think there's any such thing. No, James Lindsay doesn't want to go down that rabbit hole. James Lindsay wants to keep homosexuality. He goes to great lengths from differentiating it from queer. And there are some differences. But the idea of gay marriage being equal or as valid as just a marriage between a man and a woman, the idea of homosexuality as being some sort of concept that has some sort of positive essence to it, it's extremely queer. It's extremely woke. It just is. And all these concepts, the idea of homosexuality being normal, of gay people being given the right to marry, that is all a large part of the post-World War II consensus. And James Lindsay does not want to get rid of that. James Lindsay is basically a worshiper and believer of the societal changes and cultural changes that happened in America and in the world that occurred mid-20th century. So I don't even think James Lindsay is necessarily a classical liberal. I believe that he does adhere to some of his tenets, but largely uses it to attribute some sort of authoritative, he's the true inheritor of the original vision of the founding fathers. Imagine if you went to George Washington. Imagine if George Washington time traveled to 2026 and he was like, a homosexual is a what now? He wouldn't even know what a homosexual is. He's like, a man that lays with another man? You're saying that's a valid identity category? And not only that, but you give them the right to get married? He would call James Lindsay a progressive or someone who is woke. Obviously, he wouldn't use woke, to define James Lindsay or progressive, really, because that wasn't in the lexicon of his day. But that's how he would look at James Lindsay. So is James Lindsay a classical liberal? No. James Lindsay is a worshiper of the post-World War II consensus.
Derp, 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 derpity derp, 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 derpity derp, 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 derpity derp, 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 derpity derp, 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 derpity derp.